Welcome, Michael. It's so great to meet you. Absolutely delightful. After we'd had a great call and talk about this panel. I'm wondering what your original interest was that led you to be focused on the robo-advisories.
Yeah. So it's really two things. So one is a personal interest, which is wealth management and kind of solving all aspects of people's financial life is just so critical to helping them figure out everything from living day-to-day life to being able to save for retirement, being able to pass on wealth to the next generation. So from that perspective, I'm passionate about how do you help people kind of understand and grow their wealth over time and do it in a responsible and kind of sustainable way. The other piece of it too is I was actually, prior to becoming a venture capitalist investing into fintech companies at Broadhaven, I was actually an entrepreneur at a company called iCapital Network, where we actually were trying to democratize access to private equity funds and hedge funds, and we were working with the high net worth community. So we were selling interest in or access to private equity funds and hedge funds to independent registered investment advisors, family offices, and individuals who couldn't get access at $5, $10, or $20 million to some of the top private equity funds and hedge funds, but could invest $100,000. So I was able to work with a lot of independent RIAs and see kind of what was going on in the wealth management space, where you're seeing transition to independence because advisors themselves want to become business owners, but also because you're seeing a reaction from clients to, I think, Wall Street more broadly, which is they don't want to be sold products that are kind of where there's perceived conflicts of interest, but they want to be sold advice, which is totally independent, open architecture, which is what the independent RIA market does. And in that process, kind of, you're seeing a shift in assets go from wirehouses, i.e. banks, the UBS's, Morgan Stanley's, Merrill Lynch's of the world, transition over to the independent advice world.
And some of the portfolio companies you've invested in?
Yep. So we have invested in companies in the robo-advice space. Our view is that the future of fintech is really about collaboration between early stage fintech companies and incumbents who realize that transformation is happening in financial services. They need to improve their client experience. They need to reduce costs, improve reduce operational headcount, and improve OpEx. So they're going to want to buy or partner with technologies that help them do that. I think robo-advice is a perfect example. So we've invested in a company called Trizic, which is a white label digital advice solution that doesn't sell direct to consumers. It's a B2B2C solution that sells its technology to RIAs, registered investment advisors, to banks and asset managers. And what they do is they provide a white label solution so that banks can be part of this digital transformation. And our belief is that's exactly what will happen. They have an existing install base. They have the money, the brands, and the kind of the names and the people to be able to market to customers, which I think makes a lot of sense because it's very hard to build a business, a consumer brand in financial services. You need a lot of capital, very capital intensive to do so. So providing a technology to these existing financial institutions, I think makes a lot of sense relative to kind of creating a direct-to-consumer robo-advisor solution.
And it sort of converts more across the board, really, doesn't it? It gets everyone on the same page. Where do you think the future's going as far as robo-advisories go?
Yeah, so I think, so when you think about wealth management, I think the key to wealth management is trust. And I think embedded in trust is a human-centered relationship. I think there will always be a human involved in the relationship between client advisor. So to that end, I think technology will augment that relationship, but I think it'll be a human-centered relationship that's augmented by technology. So I think robo will play a role because it helps provide advice cheaper. It helps reduce kind of operational overhead. And it also provides a better client experience in general. So I think you'll see robo solutions feature, but I think they'll probably feature in financial institutions rather than kind of as standalone businesses, just because you'll need, and standalone businesses without human advice. So I think you'll need humans to be involved in that kind of provision of advice.
Woohoo, I'm right there with the humans. I was just saying earlier, like I love tech and I've obviously been in the heart of it for many years, but in the end result is we are all human, and I think we need more human contact rather than less.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, I think something like wealth is so, it's so personal, and kind of being able to trust a human at the other end of the phone or the other end of the screen is really important. Having said that, I think technology and things like AI, robo-advice can help understand markets. But at the same time, you're going to need a human to actually provide that advice, particularly as you get to the high net worth channel, because when you think about high net worth individual, their life is so complex. There's so many different pieces to it. There's financial planning, there's trust, there's next generation issues. So how do you deal with all that? I think you're going to need a human to do that. So again, I think it'll be this kind of human-centered advice that's augmented by digital.
I like your vision of the future. Thank you. And thanks for coming along tonight, and I'm sure it's going to be a great panel.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.